Thanks so much for joining us. Today is episode 4 of Analyzing Attributes Using Visual Venn Diagrams. It is our last episode in this series, and next week we'll start a brand new type of puzzle. If you have not been staying with us through the entire video, perhaps you don't teach set theory, so you stop. I don't blame you. But today, you'll want to stay with us through the end or even scroll to the end because we have a surprise for you. Thanks so much. Are you ready? Let's get started. Analyzing Attributes Using Visual Venn Diagrams, Episode 4. This is this week's puzzle, and hopefully your students have developed strategies and are applying those strategies. So this week, we're really just practicing strategies and thinking skills that students have been developing in the first 3 episodes. So let's take this puzzle for example. Students may use the strategy of thinking about all of the attributes that are inside the circle and then eliminating the ones that are not correct. When it asked what attribute is represented by each circle and explain your reasoning, explaining your reasoning is the most important part. Let's look at the blue circle. It only has one shape. That shape is teal, striped, and square. But we see here, this triangle is teal, so it can't be teal. Here's a square, so it can't be square. So the only attribute left is striped. So as we use that for all of the circles, we can determine pretty easily that this blue circle represents stripes, the yellow circle represents squares, and the red circle represents green, because here are triangles and here is a solid. So once again, as in previous episodes, how can I make this challenge more accessible? By including additional shapes or using 2 circles instead of 3. So here's an example with additional shapes that you can use. And here's an example with 2 circles. And I even heard from a teacher who's using this with younger students who started with 1 circle. And on the Google Slides, the circles can be removed, so you could certainly do that. And how can you make this more challenging? By asking different questions, including empty sets, and using set notation. So let's look at each of these again. So as we've discussed in previous episodes, when you do this, you're combining more than one skill. So you're asking if the remaining elements were placed in the diagram, how many shapes would be included in the sections with the question marks? Explain your reasoning. Well, basically what students are having to do in this part is determine all of these elements and where they would go. So they do have to, just by the very nature of the question, determine the attributes that are represented. And then they have to, for example, consider what type of shapes would be in this section, or this section, or this section, or wherever your question marks are. But they have to determine what attributes it would have and would not have, and then determine how many elements meet that criteria. So we're going to change the puzzle a little bit for some of the additional challenges so that it will include empty sets. So now if you look at this, there has been a slight change. So when we look at all the criteria, and once again, we're going to use that same strategy. And we can determine, well, this is square. There are no squares outside. But this, here's a teal, and here's a square, so it's not square. So this has to be striped. But then look at this. Now, it can't be green. And it can't be triangle. So it's solid. So where would the empty sets be? And you want students to understand that nothing is both striped and solid, which would really include both of these areas. So with that in mind, as you question them about sections, and I've mentioned this in previous episodes, I always put question marks in both the sections that would be empty sets so that students are really forced to consider that. When you're teaching it, you might just want to remove the yellow circle and let them see that both sections are in the intersection of the blue and the red. And then finally, using set theory. So we've talked about this before also, that really the symbols of set notation are not challenging. They're just symbols. But applying them in different ways is what makes it more challenging. So I've listed some examples that you can use, and there's a blank page that you can use to write your own set notation or whatever you happen to be studying. And on the Google Slides, the circles are removable. So hopefully that will help as you guide your students through these questions and help them to practice and develop these thinking skills. So what is your next step? Well, we are moving on. Next week, we are starting something new, and I think you're going to love it, but I hope you'll continue to incorporate these puzzles. You can use attribute blocks, you can print the PDF to create your own puzzles, or if you teach algebra, you might want to consider purchasing perplexing puzzles using Venn diagrams, which includes numbers, and students are writing equations rather than using attributes. Thank you. We really value your time and your thoughts. So we are giving away a free prize every month just for your feedback. So submit a comment to either amazingminds.com, Twitter, or Facebook, and you will have an entry into our contest for every comment. You can have 3 entries every week, and we'll have a drawing once a month. So please let us know what you think. Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We don't want you to miss a single episode of Mind Bending Mondays. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you next week. Surprise! Thanks for staying till the very end. The first 25 people to email Leanne at amazing-minds.com with the message, "We love Venn diagrams," will receive a 25% coupon for perplexing puzzles using Venn diagrams. We really appreciate you, and this is just a small way to say thanks. So we hope you'll email. Thanks so much. Have a great day.